السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
بسم الله. So you can start, inshallah.
أوكي، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإنما تحمل الواو على الحال بطريق المجاز. That sometimes wow, the letter wow does not. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإنما تحمل الواو على الحال بطريق المجاز. That sometimes the letter wow denotes the حال in a way of majaz. ولا بد من احتمال اللفظ ذلك. That it is necessary to have the possibility of that weight. وقيام الدلالة على ثبوته كما في قول المولى لعبده. That the establishment of the proof is in the okay. وقيام الدلالة على ثبوته كما في قوله كما في قول المولى لعبده. And the establishment of the proof is upon the establishment of what is in the saying of the Mawla, the master to his slave, Addi ilayya alfan wa anta hurun. That pay to me 1,000, then you'll be free. فإن الحرية يتحقق حال الأداء. That freedom would be deserved in the time of fulfilling or of paying. وأقامت الدلالة على ذلك. And the proof has become established on that. فإن المولى لا يستوجب.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم. رب اشرح لنا صدورنا ويسر لنا أمورنا واحلل عقدة من ألسنتنا يفقهوا قولنا. So we're busy discussing the huruf al-ma'ani, those particles in the Arabic language, huruf that are used for meaning. And we're busy with wow, harf atf. We mentioned that wow is for Jamal Mutlaq. Jamal means to join the ma'atuf and the ma'atuf alayh, or two or more things together in the hukam of the sentence. For example, ja'a Zaydun wa Amrun, and both Zayd and Amr, the ma'atuf alayh, are acting or both carrying out the action of coming, maji'ah. Now, mutlaq will mean what? Unrestricted, meaning that we don't know, or the sentence doesn't say whether they came together or which one came first, what the sequence was, or neither that they came together simultaneously. It merely says that both of them came, both of them attended, that's all. Then he gave a few examples of that. Then he said that wow is sometimes used for hal, which is the majazi meaning, but for it to be used in the majazi meaning, there are two conditions, which they're going to mention in front. I'll go over it now so we can look through the example. The first condition is that the word must hold the possibility of being majaz. So there must be the possibility that that word can be used majazan in a figurative meaning. Like when we were discussing haqiqat and majaz, I told you, you can't just say anything that you want. For example, you can't say he's as brave as a cat and just choose any word randomly. Why? Because a cat is not known for bravery. Yes, a lion is known for bravery. You can't make up your own word. So the first condition is that the word must be able to, or holds the possibility of having a majazi meaning. And the second condition is that there must be some proof, there must be some qarina, some indication in the sentence that the majazi meaning is meant here, not the hakiki meaning, or the majazi meaning is preferred here, not the hakiki meaning. Now, why is it used for hal majazan? Because just as the ma'atuf and ma'atuf alay are joined are joined in the sentence, in the same way, the hal and the dhul hal also are used together. And the action which is taking place by the dhul hal is happening at the same time. For example, ja'a Zaydun rakiban. So the dhul hal came he's coming and he's coming mounted. There's Jama between the two. They both happening at the same time together. Okay. So because of this munasabat between of something happening together, Jama, of being joined, the ma'tuf and ma'tuf alayh. So in the same way, the hal and the dhul hal are joined also in a particular action. That is why it is used sometimes majazan for hal. Now you must add one part here. وقال محمد رحمه الله في السير الكبير. Imam Muhammad in his kitab, in his book, As-Sir al-Kabir says, إذا قال الإمام للكفار, and if the Imam, meaning the Imam of the Muslim army, the Imam, the Khalifa of the Muslims says to the kuffar, افتحوا الباب وأنتم آمنون, that open the door to your fortress, open the door to where you are hiding, وأنتم آمنون, said, and so we translate it as wow hal or wow atf, and you are uh, you are safe. Open the door and you are safe. So in this case here, wow is halia. So wow will be halia. Open the door while you are in the condition of being safe. So so the first condition, can wa antum aminun be considered to be the hal of iftahu? We can say yes. We can say that this can, because remember when we make it hal, it becomes like shart and jaza. Understand? When we make it hal, it will become shart and jaza, meaning that if you open the door, then you will be safe. So in the same way, can antum aminu be the hal of iftahu? Yes, it can. But it can be suspended upon, it can be dependent upon. That if you open the door, conditional to iftahu. So if you open the door, then you will be safe. So the first condition is fulfilled. Second condition, is there an indication in the sentence, a qarina, that is showing us that wow, yeah, it's preferable to give it the majazi meaning over the hakiki meaning. In other words, instead of atf, making it hal. So here again, there is an indication that this is the first part of the sentence. That obviously he's only giving them safety, provided that they open the door to their fortress, whatever the case might be. And so that is an indication. And also number two, we have a jumla, iftahu is jumla insha'iyya, wa antum aminun is jumla khabariyya. And you cannot make atf upon a jumla shartiyya, a jumla insha'iyya upon jumla khabariyya. Yesterday I made a mistake. I said jumla shartiyya is jumla insha'iyya. That's wrong. Jumla shart is not jumla insha'iyya. That's a mistake I made. So you can't make so that indication. So that's an indication that yeah, iftahu is jumla insha'iyya amr, wa antum aminun is jumla khabariyya, and you cannot make atfa one to the other. So la ya'manuna bidun al-fath, they will not be granted safety and security, immunity, without opening the door. وَلَوْ قَالِ لِلْحَرْبِ, and similarly, if the imam has to say to an enemy soldier, inzil wa anta amin, that come down from your fortress, descend from your fortress, come down from where you are hiding, and you are safe. So here also, wa will be haliya, la ya'manu biduni nuzul, will not be safe, will not be granted immunity until he descends. And here again, we find both conditions are fulfilled, that the word does hold the possibility of majaz. And number two, there is an indication here, once again, that the majazi meaning is preferred, because again, we got jumla insha'iyya made af upon jumla khabariyya. So here is mentioning the conditions now. وَإِنَّمَا تُحْمَلُ الْوَاوْ عَلَى الْحَالِ بِطَرِيقِ الْمَجَازِ. And we have applied the meaning of wow upon hal by means of majaz. Although this is not the hakiki meaning of wow, as we mentioned yesterday, but this is a majaz meaning of wow. So because it is majaz, فَلَا بُدَّ, so now I think there are two conditions. So therefore, it is necessary that number one, مِنْ احتمال اللفظ ذلك, that the word must hold the possibility of being majaz. There must be the possibility that the word can be used majazan in its figurative meaning. And number two, وَقِيَامُ الدَّلَالَةِ إِلَى ثُبُوتِهَا, there must be some indication to prove that here, dalala means qarina, there must be some indication to prove that here the word is meant, that it is meant, is meant in its majazi meaning, about the meaning of hal. Understood that?
Ji.
كما في قول المولى لعبدي, like if the master has to say to his slave, now he's giving examples. That addi ilayya alfan wa anta hurun. That pay me 1,000. Now wa, and you are free. Is wow and you are free, or wow halia while you are free. So you're saying here, فَإِنَّ الْحُرِّيَّةَ يَتَحَقَّقُ حَالَ الْأَدَاءِ. That freedom will only be established, will only occur when he pays over, in the condition that he pays over the money. Okay? So wow is halia here. Pay me 1,000 while you are free. Again, hal means it's shart. And that if you pay me 1,000, you are free. So number one, it holds the possibility of being used, wow here, holds the possibility of being used in its majaz, meaning hal. Second condition, there must be some indication. So he's saying, وَقَامَتِ الدَّلَالَةُ عَلَى ذَلِكَ, that there is some indication, some proof upon that. What is that proof? فَإِنَّ الْمَوْلَى لَا يَسْتَوْجِبُ عَلَى عَبْدِهِ مَالًا مَعَ قِيَامِ رِكِّ فِيهِ, that the master cannot impose upon his slave the payment of any money while he is still a slave. Because we say addi ilayya alfan, and then we say wow is atf, in a sense, ma'atuf alay. So then how can you tell his slave, because addi ilayya, when you're saying that part, that person is still his slave. So you can't demand money from your slave, because whatever the slave owns belongs to you as the master already. So you can't demand money from your slave. So the only way that this can make sense is if we take wow as halia, meaning that if you give me 1,000 hours, I've given you permission to go and work, and if you pay me 1,000 rand, you will then be set free. That's the only way it can make sense, because it doesn't make sense for the master to tell a slave, give me 1,000 rand while he's still a slave. You follow?
Ji.
وقد صح التعليق به فحمل عليه. So because it is possible to suspend the second part, وأنت حر تؤدي إلي ألفا, that if you give me 1,000, you are free, because it is possible to do that. فحمل عليه, therefore we will apply the majaz, meaning because both conditions are fulfilled, you can, the وأنت حر does hold the possibility of being majaz. And number two, there is a qarina in the sentence, an indication that here the majaz meaning is preferred over the hakiki meaning. ولو قال أنت طالق وأنت مريضة أو مصلية تطلق في الحال ولو نوى التعليق صحت نيته فيما بينه وبين الله تعالى. And if a person tells his wife that you are free, وأنت حر, if wow is hakika, then and you are sick, أو مصلية, or you are performing salah. With wow halia, then you are divorced while you are sick, meaning when and if you become sick, you are divorced, and when and if you perform salah, you become divorced. So here we will apply the majazi meaning. Why? تطلق في we'll apply the hakiki meaning. وتطلق في الحال, she will be divorced immediately. However, ولو نوى التعليق صحت نيته. If the husband intended ta'liq, if he intended this to be conditional, and if you become sick, you are divorced, and if you read salah, you are divorced, then sahhat niyatu, his intention will be correct. Why? Because it does hold the possibility of majaz, which is the wow, holds the possibility of being hal, which is majaz. You follow?
Ji.
فيما بينه وبين الله تعالى. However, it will be correct between him and Allah Ta'ala as diyanatan. We can accept that. Diyanatan between him and Allah Ta'ala, we will accept what he's saying. Why? لأن اللفظ وإن كان يحتمل معنى الحال إلا أن why are we saying in this instance here we prefer the حقيقي meaning. So he's saying لأن اللفظ, because the word وإن كان يحتمل معنى الحال, even though it does hold the probability and the possibility of being حال, إلا however أن الظاهر خلافه, the apparent, the حقيقي meaning goes against it. Why does it go against it? Why does it go contrary to it? Because you don't normally divorce your wife because she's getting sick. You won't normally suspend a talaq on her becoming sick. That's a time for you to feel sorry and compassionate for her. And same thing with salah. You should be happy if she's reading salah, not threaten her with a divorce or reading salah. You follow?
Ji.
Okay, so although it does hold the possibility of being a wow halia, wow atf makes more sense outwardly. So that's why we'll give preference to the hakiki meaning over the
مجاز.
over the majaz in this instance. وإذا تأيد ذلك بقصده ثبت. However, because the possibility is there, if that majaz meaning is strengthened, تأيد, strengthened by means of his cost, by means of his intention, ثبت, they will accept it, will establish it, will approve of it. Now here also, another example of where one or two of the conditions are not fulfilled. ولو قال خذ هذه الألف مضاربة وأعمل بها في البز. If a person tells somebody else that take this 1,000 as mudaraba and do business of clothing. وأعمل بها في البز. Baz means like a cloth merchant. What is mudaraba? Mudaraba is where one person gives capital, gives money to another person, and the other person, he contributes his labor. So there are two people that become partners, but the one gives the money, he gives the capital, and the other one does the work, and they share the profits, right? Depending on how they want to share 50-50, 60-40, whatever they agree to. This is called mudaraba, where one person has the money to spare and is giving it to someone whom we trust, and the other person does the work, and whatever profit that person makes, they split the profits between the two. That's mudaraba. You follow?
Yeah.
So if the person who's giving the capital, the venture capitalist, if he says take this 1,000 as mudaraba and do business in clothing, so khudh and wa'amal are both jumla, what you call jumla insha'iyya, because both is amr. So he's saying لا يتقيد العمل في البز, the work, the labor will not be restricted to the clothing. He can do whatever work he wants to. If he feels it is more profitable to go into selling vegetables, he can do that. ويكون المضاربة عامة, and the مضاربة will be general. He can sell whatever he wants. ولأما الأمل في الباز لا يصلح حالا لأخذ الألف مضاربة. Why? Because restricting it to the work of selling clothes is not appropriate as a hal, and cannot be applied as a hal for him taking the 1,000 as mudaraba. Remember we said it can only become jumla shartiya if it is hal. And in this case here, وَعْمَلْ بِهَا فِي الْبَازِ, it cannot become hal of خُذَ هَذِهِ الْأَلْفِ. And there's no way it can become hal. It has to be atf, it has to be what you call the hakiki meaning, which is jama mutlaq. فلا يتقيد صدر الكلام به. For the first part of the sentence خذ هذه الألف will not be restricted or conditional to the second part of the sentence. As such, he can do whatever work he feels will be more profitable. وعلى هذا قال أبو حنيفة. So based upon this, Imam Hanifa says, إذا قالت لزوجها, that if a wife says to her husband, طلقني ولك ألف, that give me a divorce, and or while there is for you. So, while can either be a and or can be حالية. Imam Hanifa makes it and for you is 1,000. فطلق, and he gives her 1,000. لا يجب له عليها شيء. It's not compulsory upon the wife to give him anything. So there's a difference between Imam Hanifa and the Sahibain here. Imam Hanifa says here that wa will not be hal, wa will be jama mutlaq. Understood?
Okay.
Even
just
though
repeat it, ma.
if a wife comes to her husband and says, "Talliqni, give me 1,000 divorce, sorry, give me a divorce," and for you is 1,000 rand, for example. So Imam Hanifa rahmatullah, in this case, yeah, even though it does not fulfill the two conditions, the sentence, it does not fulfill the two conditions because wow, yeah, can't be atf, because laka alfun again is jumla khabariya and talliqni jumla insha'iyya bin amr. But even though outwardly this sentence does not fulfill the two conditions of majaz, still Imam Hanifa rahmatullah says that in this case here, we will count it as haqiqat, and we won't count it as hal, and walaka alfun will be separate from the word talliqni. Sahibain say no, wow can be haliya, so therefore it's conditional, and if she pays 1,000, then she'll get a divorce. Okay? Imam
Okay.
Hanifa says if she gets divorced, she doesn't have to give a thing. Why? لأن قولها ولك ألف لا يفيد حال وجوب ألف عليها, because the sentence. Okay, inshallah we'll stop here. Although it's just a few sentences left. It's almost Maghrib, inshallah. Requires, was it half past today?
27, 20.
Okay, so we'll stop there, inshallah. Okay, we'll stop there, inshallah. Hopefully, inshallah, if we can hopefully cover it next week, inshallah. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. Okay, that was the end of the chapter, or what? And that was the end of the chapter. Then we go on to fa after that. Letter fa, the harf fa. Okay, khair. Gee, any questions?
Not yet, Moulana. I just need to go over it and I can see.
Okay, inshallah. If you didn't understand anything, you can ask me, or if you can even put the questions in the group, and I can answer it next week before we begin, inshallah, or whatever you're comfortable with. See, Friday
Inshallah.
also, inshallah, make dua for yourself, recite Jalatul Kaf, let us salawat, dua for yourself, for your parents, for your asatidha, for the ummah at large, inshallah. And if you can, remember me in your du'as as well, also, inshallah. See, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Subhanallah, bihamdi, subhanallah, ashhadu an la ilaha